Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we begin consideration on the budget of the Cooperative Development Authority.
Any objection? The chair hearing none. The motion is approved.
Mr.
Majority
Speaker,
Leader.
before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the officials of Cooperative Development Authority, namely Chairman Orland Rabanera and Administrator Benji Oliva.
The presence of the officials of the Cooperative Development is hereby recognized.
Mr.
Majority
Speaker,
Leader.
I move that we recognize the lady from Kusug Tausug Party List, the Honorable Shirley Abubakar Tan, to sponsor and answer question, if any, on the budget of Cooperative Development Authority.
Congresswoman Tan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to present the 2019 budget of the Cooperative Development Authority in the amount of 555,748,000 pesos. We are ready to answer questions from other members, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman from Coop-Natcco, the Honorable Anthony Bravo, for his interpellation.
Congressman Bravo is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will distinguished sponsor, Your Honor, yield to some question to this representation.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker. How much was the budget of the CDA in 2017?
Mr. Speaker, it's 493,306,000, Mr. Speaker.
And in 2018,
$552,568,000, Mr. Speaker.
as of June 30, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, how much is the utilization rate of the agency to its budget?
Mr. Speaker, 45.95%, Mr. Speaker.
45 or 46% as of June 30. So, are we assured that the agency is capable of using all the funds before the end of, or on or before December 31, 2018?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are fully capable. Like last year, the utilization is 99.9%, Mr. Speaker.
That was 2017.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And we are certain that that the same utilization rate will be applied in 2018.
Very certain, Mr. Speaker.
How much was the original proposed budget by the CDA in 2018?
Mr. Speaker, the proposed budget was around 3 billion, Mr. Speaker.
And out of that proposed 3 billion, only 527 million was awarded.
Yes,
or
Mr.
appropriated.
Speaker.
And now comes 2019. The amount that is being proposed by CDA is 522,492,000. Am I correct?
Under the NEP, Mr. Speaker.
And in fact, there is a certain reduction or slash on the budget.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
There are, by the way, how much was the original proposal? If in 2018 you proposed 3 billion and 527 million was awarded or appropriated by Congress, how much was the original proposed in 2019?
Around 1 billion, Mr. Speaker.
1 billion. And instead of increasing the 527, it has been reduced. What programs will be sacrificed, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, if until then it will be 522 million?
The training programs, Mr. Speaker.
Training program for the leaders of cooperative or employees of CDA.
Mr. Speaker, additional funds to cover utilities expenses not covered in the NEP, refleeting program of CDA motor vehicles, rehabilitation of CDA office buildings, scholarship program, human resource development program, research program, enterprise development for cooperatives, compliance outreach program, membership and public protection program, asset recovery program, and CDA voluntary arbitration program, Mr. Speaker.
So these are programs that are in line with the mandate of the CDA so that it can dutifully perform its mandate to the people. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, allow me to read the Declaration of Policy under Republic Act 9520 because I'm going to make an appeal after this. Article 2, Declaration of Policy. It is a declared policy of the state to foster the creation and growth of cooperative as a practical vehicle for promoting self-reliance and harnessing people's power towards the attainment of economic development and social justice. The state shall encourage the private sector to undertake the actual formation and organization of cooperatives and shall create an atmosphere that is conducive to the growth and development of the cooperatives. To realize this, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, I believe that it should be coupled with appropriate logistics. In fact, to read further, towards this end, government and all its branches, subdivision, instrumentalities and agencies shall ensure the provision of technical guidance, financial assistance, and other services to enable said cooperative to develop into viable and responsive economic enterprise and thereby bring about a strong cooperative movement that is free from any condition that might infringe upon the autonomy, organizational integrity of the cooperatives. Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, with the meager budget that we are appropriating to Cooperative Development Authority, one of the agencies nearest to the heart of this representation, being the representative of cooperatives in the entire country, having a population membership of 414 million, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, I will appeal before this body, honorable body, to the leadership of the House of Representatives to find ways and means to add some more budget so that the Cooperative Development Authority will be able to deliver its duty to our people, to include among others poverty eradication in this country. A 100 million may not be sufficient, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. That will contribute a lot to the agency so that it will be able to deliver its services to our people. With that, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, will you agree, Your Honor, that 522 million 492 is not really enough for the agency?
We agree, Mr. Speaker, because right now, we are serving 28,000 cooperatives with 14 million members. And with that amount of work, we only have little budget, so it's hard for us to comply with our mandate, Mr. Speaker.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, 85% of it belongs to micro and small cooperatives.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
And that requires even the CDA to work harder to develop this 85%.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
With that, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, again, I would like to appeal for additional budget to the CDA. And since there are no more member of the minority who wish to ask question, I move to terminate the interpellation and debate the budget of the CDA with an appeal of additional budget at least 200 million. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you.
Considering the manifestation of the distinguished congressman from the party list, Coop-Natcco, Congressman Bravo, What's the pleasure of the Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the majority, we join the minority in terminating the period of interpellation on the budget of CDA. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? The Chair hearing none, the motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may I move for a minute of suspension?
Session suspended.